Hello aviators, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be flying the ILS runway 28 approach into Montgomery-Gibbs airfield. I'm going to brief the approach, cover some of the highlights of the approach plate, what we need to know to execute this approach, and then we're just going to hop right into the plane and pick up the approach from the air and ask for a practice approach into Montgomery Field on the ILS runway 28 approach. Okay, we're going to brief this approach plate real quick. So as we can see, this is the ILS runway 28 right into Montgomery-Gibbs airfield. We're going to tune in the ILS localizer DME on 111.95. The approach course is going to be 281 degrees. That makes sense because it's going to be runway 28. Our runway landing distance is going to be 3,399 feet. Our touchdown zone elevation is going to be 423 feet. We're going to pick up the ATIS on 126.9. We're going to be talking to SoCal approach to pick up this clearance for the ILS runway 28 on 124.35, so we'll make sure to have that in our comm ones and be talking with them. We're going to contact tower on 119.2 or 125.7, whatever they hand us off to. We have medium intensity runway lightings. We then have our ground, clearance delivery, and Unicom if we need to talk to those frequencies. So we can see up here on our missed approach, it's a pretty straightforward procedure. What we're going to do is we're going to climb to 1,100 feet. We're going to make a climbing left turn to 3,000 on a heading of 270. So it's just going to be just slightly left of the runway, and then we're going to tune in to the Mission Bay VOR and fly the radial 326 direct to Cariff. That should be about the 16.3 DMA away from the Mission Bay VOR. And to tune in that VOR, we're going to make sure to use 117.8 for the Mission Bay VOR. So we'll have that on our nav 1 standby or nav 2. When we fly this approach, we can expect our initial approach fix or IAF to be Barrett or maybe Agota or Beckel. More than likely they'll give us Beckel. We'll just have to wait and see. If they do, when we get to our initial approach fix at Beckel, we want to make sure we cross it at 5,900 or above. But most importantly, when we pass MIBI, we want to be at 4,200, and we can see that here on our side profile as well. So we're going to cross at 4,200. We're then going to descend down to Nesty, where we can cross at or above 3,600, and then down to Penny, where we're going to get to our glide slope intercept. We want to intercept at 2,500, and then from there we're going to follow the needles down past Plios. Our traffic pattern altitude for this airfield is around 1,400 feet, so crossing here at this Palos at 1,380 will be more or less like being in the traffic pattern. Hopefully by here we'll be able to see the runway, and we'll make sure to not descend below 673 feet. That's going to be our decision altitude. We're going to be in Class A, and we're flying the ILS runway 28 right. These are going to be MSL, and remember that the airfield elevation is at 423 feet. So we can see the difference between our decision altitude and the touchdown field elevation is going to be our HAT, which is our height above touchdown zone of 250 feet, and we want to have at least 3/4 of a mile visibility. Then once we touch down, we want to be able to switch to ground. We're going to make sure to use the ground frequency of 118.225 or stay up with tower, whatever they advise. But when we touch down at Montgomery Field, we quickly need to turn off somewhere such as Charlie, Mike, or Echo, or roll all the way down to Foxtrot, but we then have to cross another runway, this runway 28 left, to be able to get to the areas where we're going to taxi on Hotel. So just be prepared for that. We can see for our flight plan, we have our departure airport, we have the airport we're going to arrive at, and we loaded the approach by clicking on the airport, load approach, then selecting the ILS 28 approach and clicking load. You can see we have our different GPS fixes below that are on this approach, and we can watch our progress down here on our secondary.
Area 71 Uniform Sierra, SoCal approach you up.
Signal 1 for Sierra.
Area 71 Uniform Sierra, gave you frequency change, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
134.2, sorry about that, 134.2, Signal 1 for Sierra.
Right now we're right over Jillian, VOR.
SoCal approach, Signal 871 Uniform Sierra, level 6,000, heading 270.
Area 71 Uniform Sierra, SoCal approach, Burbank altimeter 2983, descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, Signal 1 for Sierra.
1 Uniform Sierra, Santa Monica Airport, 10 o'clock, 12 miles, report in sight.
Airport in sight, Tango 1 for Sierra.
There is 1 Uniform Sierra, cleared visual approach, runway 21, contact tower, 5 mile final.
Clear visual approach, runway 21, Santa Monica, contact tower, 3 mile final, Tango 1 for Sierra.
SoCal approach, Cessna 172 Romeo Whiskey, 6,500 over Chuyamako Lake with a request.
172 Romeo Whiskey, SoCal approach, go ahead.
I was wondering if I could do the ILS runway 28 right practice approach into Montgomery-Gibbs.
172 Romeo Whiskey, squawk 4240 ident, and say aircraft type and equipment suffix.
Cessna 172 slant golf and squawk 4240 172 Romeo Whiskey. 4240 and then enter.
172 Romeo Whiskey, radar contact 10 miles south of Julian VOR, San Diego altimeter 2986, maintain VFR.
2986, maintain VFR, 2 Romeo Whiskey. Alright, so we're at 6,500. Alright, our initial approach fix is going to be Barrett. Currently we are 8.2 nautical miles from Barrett. 6,500, 110 knots.
I know 172 Romeo Whiskey, do you want to fly the approach from Backle?
That will work. 2 Romeo Whiskey.
172 Romeo Whiskey, you can proceed to Backle intersection at ILS runway 28 right, practice approach is approved. Maintain VFR at all times, and advise join the localizer.
I'll advise him when we join the localizer and direct to Backle, clear for the ILS 28 right practice approach, 2 Romeo Whiskey, and maintain VFR the whole time. Alright, so we just got cleared to Backle.
2 Romeo Whiskey, it looks like you might actually go into the Bravo, so I'm going to go ahead and give you clearance. Cleared through San Diego Bravo airspace via the ILS runway 28 right approach segment.
Clear through the Bravo for the ILS 28 right approach segment, 2 Romeo Whiskey. Alright, so we're going to go direct Backle. So we're going to go ahead and click Backle, direct, activate. You should see that's going to turn us. Our Backle, we need to cross Backle at or above 5,900, so we'll bug our heading. 5,900.
Santa Monica Tower, take number A71, aim for Sierra, visual runway 21.
Go and start our ascent, power back a little bit, carb heat's on.
871 Uniform Sierra, Santa Monica Tower, runway 21, clear to land.
Runway 21, clear.
Alright, we're going direct Backle. We're quite a ways out. We're 9 nautical miles out. Our ground speed's 132 knots. It should take us about 4 minutes to get there. We're descending at just around 500 feet per minute, down to 5,900, crossing 6,060 right now. Looks good. Change our flight pan up here. We'll expand this. We'll go direct Backle. There we go. We have our Bravo clearance, and we're just going to ride this right on in to intercept our initial approach fix at Backle. Oh yes, we also have on our nav, we have the ILS tuned up at 111.95. We can see that on our chart here, 111.95. And then we have on our standby the Mission Bay VOR, which we can see on our missed approach is what we'll tune in case we were to go missed. And we have on our VOR1 the 326 radial dialed in, so we can flip over and use our VOR to navigate us to the missed approach fix. Okay, let's take a look at our airspeed's good, Altitude's good, heading's good. Keep that scan coming in. 6 miles from Backle. We can go ahead and get our next altitude. It's going to be 4,200.
4100 uniform John Wayne ground, runway 20 right, taxi via Alpha Lima, hold short runway 20 left at Lima.
Taxi 20 right by Alpha Lima, hold short runway 20 right at Lima, Challenger 192 uniform.
0871 uniform Sierra, taxi ramp via Alpha and have a great day.
Taxi ramp via Alpha, thanks for the help, and 1 for Sierra.
That is a
Our next waypoint we're going to
Thank
pass
you.
is going to be Mibby, and we need to cross that at 4,200. You can see that on the chart as well. So we have 4,200 bugged. We'll go ahead and arm that and descend when we cross our next waypoint at Backle. We still have 3 miles until we pass Backle, and then we can descend down to 4,200. You can see that here on the chart as well. So we want to stay at 4,900 as we pass Backle, so we're looking good there. Alright, we're about to pass Backle. We're going to pass Backle at 5,900. We're passing Backle. We can come down to Mibby at 4,200. So I'm going to descend at about 700 feet per minute. Alright, we're coming on down. You can see after passing Mibby, we can go down to 3,600 for Nesty. And we're keeping that descent coming down, about another 1,000 feet to go. Alright, Mibby is 1.1 miles away. Okay, here comes Nesty. We're a little high, so we can go ahead and put in
Join Tower, Challenger 192 uniform, holding short runway 20 left at Lima, ready to go.
a little high, so we can go put in 3,600 and start our descent down
Before 102
to the
uniform,
3,600.
cross runway 20 left at Lima, runway 20 right, clear for takeoff.
Cross runway 20 left at Lima, runway 20 right, clear for takeoff, Challenger 192 uniform.
We need to be at 3,600 as we pass Nesty. And then we're going to look for our intercept at Penny. Alright, we're about to pass Nesty. Our next fix is Penny. Penny we can pass at 2,500. See that on the chart there and in the side profile view below. There's Nesty. It's going to put in 2,500. Looks like we can see the airport off in the distance. Pretty soon they're going to probably switch us over to tower. We have tower on standby. And now we're going to go ahead and fly by our VORs looking for the ILS, so we'll switch. We have the ILS queued up at 111.95, so we'll switch. We should get the green needle. You can see by the dot here and the bar here we're a little low, but we're just going to hold this altitude when we get down to 2,500 to intercept the glide slope. Alright, looks like we're 9.4 DME away from the ILS.
For 2 Romeo Whiskey, leaving Bravo airspace, radar services are terminated. Squawk VFR, contact Montgomery Tower 119.2.
Squawk VFR and over to Montgomery Tower 119.2 to Romeo Whiskey. Alright, squawking VFR.
For 902 uniform, contact Soka departure.
Connect Soka departure
192. Montgomery Tower, Cessna 172, Romeo Whiskey, inbound on the ILS 28 practice approach.
Here 172 Romeo Whiskey to Montgomery Tower, make sure in runway 28 right, clear to land.
Runway 28 right, clear to land, straight in to Romeo Whiskey.
Soka departure, changer for 119 uniform, 5,000 feet.
Alright, we have the airport in sight.
192 uniform, Soka departure, radar contact. Turn left heading 010, say bridge quest.
Heading 010, we're requesting vectors for runway 20 ILS to the right.
Roger, expect that.
Local changer for 119 uniform.
Alright, looks like we're 5.5 DME out. We have the traffic pattern bugged. See, we're above the glide slope, so we'll keep this descent coming down a little bit faster. Try to capture that needle. We're looking right at the green dot here. A little high. You can also see that line here on our VORs.
Burbank, ground southwest 1517 by the Alpha Gate, request taxi with Quebec.
Southwest 1517 Burbank ground, runway 15, taxi via Alpha, across runway 8 to join Alpha.
Taxi to runway 15 via Alpha, crossing runway 08 to join Alpha, southwest 1510.
For 902 uniform, maintain 5,200.
Maintain 5,200, changer for 119
500
uniform.
feet to go. We got 2 red and 2 white, so we're right on glide slope. Getting a little low, give it some more power. There we go, 2 red, 2 white. We want to put it just past the green lights. And we'll go power idle. See if we can make this a short field landing. We're at power idle. And touchdown.